Well, hello there, everyone. How are we doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
And you said you're warmer where you are right now. I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
I've got to apologise for this this chair because you hear that?
Oh no.
Oh no.
I forgot about it. It's a comfy chair, but it's squeak, so I'm going to swap it over next week.
You have to get. Is that ain't the one you got from the old podcast studio?
Nah, this is my OG. It's the first chair I ever bought when we first started out, so it's got sentimental value. I had it 8 years, but it's just squeaky.
Yeah. This thing with it sounds like it's got a leather effect on it as well. So when you move around, it's like it's just not the one. Yeah. Anyway, hope we're all doing well, and also a little bit of news for everyone. We've got our sponsor for this episode.
Oh,
hopefully for more. Not nice. Hopefully it doesn't end after this episode, but yeah. NuHemp have come back.
They're back.
Yeah, they're back. They did a few episodes last year, and we really enjoyed having them sponsor the podcast.
Great, great products.
Yeah, and hopefully they enjoyed being sponsor of us. But yeah, they've come back and they've got a nice surprise for everyone. Code APMA20
gets that goes along the bottom
at www.nuhemp.co.uk. They've asked me to show off a few of their products, so I'm going to pull up their website right now. We're going to
look at this! Oh my goodness!
So this is what you'll be greeted with, and I do need to specify. You won't be able to use the 20% off on any bundled items. So that's it. You got to put these things out there. You got to be clear.
Get it on the bundles. I'm a man of the people.
I'm a man very much of the gummies. I swear by them. I feel like they help me.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Oh, they are great. Yeah. I'm going to actually order some today.
Yeah.
There you go. Use code APMA20 down, and you'll be absolutely
getting my
you'll be in my good books. Tell you that.
Me off.
The gummies are my favourite, and I went recently for the mix and match gummies, which I think they might have been the ones we got sent to the studio when we had the sponsorship with them before.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a really nice mix. What ones they got in there? They got the vegan gummy bears and the vegan sour cherries are probably my favourite. But that blue one, it tastes like a blue slushy. So it took me back to when I was 7. At the beach, and to do that in the start of February is some sort of feat, I tell you. But yeah, they do CBD gummies. People if obviously you're not really au fait with CBD stuff, they'll be like, you'll probably ask like, well, what do I need CBD for? What's the use of it? Now, there's many benefits of them. So a lot of people use it for anxiety. I've got a family member who uses it for anxiety quite a lot, and they swear by the oil. I swear by the gummies that I've already said. They help with my sleep. And there's also, they do cream and balm, which is meant to help feel like pain relief, inflammation, that sort of stuff. So they've got loads of products on there. The CBD oil, I know Dan absolutely rinsed that when it was in the studio. So yeah. Yes, that is a testament to how good the product is. Dan couldn't stop, but it is 100% like needed to be said. There's no THC or very, very, very little THC in the product, so you'll never get high from it.
Mm-hmm.
Their slogan is "It's hope, not dope." I just love that.
Nice,
very good.
They sent me the because they started doing the hemp flower. Now, if I go on to the CBD flower section, you'll see what it is. Now, basically, I know it looks like the devil's lettuce. Let's just not, beat around the bush. But it's got no THC or very, very little THC in it, so you won't get high from it. And they've sent me the AK-47 blend.
Mango Kush.
Yeah, they've even got pre-rolls on there. If you can't roll like me, that's an option.
So this is just to be stipulated. This is legal to smoke, right?
Yes, 100% legal. No
this
THC.
Is like picking up a CBD vape, for example, but instead it looks like a blunt.
To be blunt about it, yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's an option for you. They got loads of stuff. They've even got some capsules if you just want to take the CBD in the capsule. Up to you.
Nice.
And if you still need a bit of convincing, if you're into like looking at facts and figures and stuff, they've even got a lab results page where they take
there you
go. So if you're into that, that's your place to go. But yeah,
Yeah.
use APMA 20, 20% off at nuhemp.co.uk. I really appreciate NuHemp for coming back and obviously sponsoring the podcast, supporting us. So show them love if you are in the market or are interested in anything CBD.
And I will just say, from personal experience, last time they sponsored us, we got a few bags of gummies and stuff, and I was suffering from anxiety at the time, and I have to say they did help enormously. And I'm only saying this because if you are suffering from anxiety, it may not work for you, but I know it worked for me, so there is a chance that it could work for you too. So I do genuinely recommend this stuff.
The sweets were, for me, just like mad tasty. They were so nice.
Oh yeah, they tasted just like insert other famous gummy brand here.
Yeah, better for me. Really good. But obviously you got to remember that
What was the max? Is it 2 a day?
Yeah, they're not sweet. Not like the whole pack.
Yeah. It's really good. They're good for you.
Dan was putting it to the test. That's how I see it. He was really testing the capability.
I'm actually featured on that lab page on the results.
You're the tester.
A human lab rat for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, NuHemp, for sponsoring the podcast. And yeah, like I said, if you want to show them the love, if you're interested in CBD products or you're in the market, use that code 20% off. And last time they limited the codes to like a certain amount of people got 20% off, and then after that you got 15 if you were too late to use the 20% code. This time, blanket 20% code.
Oh, nice.
That's it. So there you go.
Sweet.
Thank you, NuHemp.
Thank you, NuHemp.
That's it. So don't forget that code is 20% off. Use APMA code 20. APMA 20. Right. So I don't know if have we spoke about the Bermuda Triangle on the podcast before? I feel like we've done enough episodes that probably would have.
Don't think we have. I've done a video on it on my channel, but I don't think we've done it on the podcast.
That does astound me. The amount of episodes we've done, especially based on conspiracies, that we haven't really touched on it that much. But it's just something that I don't know, it's strange, it's weird. Anything like water based, like things missing that sinks, ships that sink rather, and like anything like that just interests me as to why and how it happens. I don't know, Jordan, you're not a massive fan of the deep water.
Not crazy about it, no.
Not that this really involves a lot of deep water, but it's still in the same sort of area, I guess.
Going down in a shipwreck is up there with like one of the ways I definitely don't want to go. I'd say.
Yeah,
because that just sucks. That does.
Yeah. Imagine like going down for you on like a ship carrying like sovereign gold rings in deep water with like.
I'd rather be set on fire.
Yeah, you've also got, because you could go down and have a little air gap, so like you're also kind of being buried alive. It's just all sorts of, but with the chance of probably not getting out because you're so deep, you can't even swim out.
That's it.
Awful.
Terrible. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that doesn't sound great for anyone dying like that, but for you, it's especially bad.
Yeah.
Sovereign gold rings, not the one.
That is the worst part of that, believe it or not.
What, the gold rings?
That is, I don't know what the fuck that. Actually, do you know what? I think that I discovered what caused it.
Okay.
Because it has to be, for it to be a phobia, because I can't fucking, like, if you ask me to touch one, I'll fuck it. I won't throw up, but I'll blanket refuse. I think, right, it was a specific scene in Lord of the Rings, because that came out in 2001. So I was 7. And there's a scene where Bilbo wants the ring back from Frodo, and his face goes like all rat, and it goes all like manipulated and distorted and scary. It's like one of the most famous jump scares ever. I think in that moment, my brain went, that scared the fuck out of me. There's a gold ring right there. Boom. And it's just locked in my fucking head.
Yeah,
that's the only logical thing that I can think of, because otherwise it's just fucking ridiculous. I mean, it is fucking ridiculous, but yeah, that's the only logical thing that I can think of.
It's got to be something 0 to 7, because that is your child.
And I would have been
life, yeah, and that's when you lock stuff in, and it might not come out till years later. So yeah, that sounds about right, especially at that age.
Yeah, that's fucking insane, isn't it?
Can't be good that you kind of know the moment though, because you could. I mean, it's obviously not an issue, but if it was, you could work on it to get it sorted out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You go back in time and make that not the scene in the film. There we go.
But yeah.
So, yeah, when I was hopefully discovered what was the root cause of that certain phobia. I've never heard of that before, like anyone being repulsed by it.
I might be the only person in the world.
You can choose what it's called. The phobia.
Goldophobia.
Yeah.
Ringophobia just sounds wrong.
Yeah. Do you know what was really interesting? And this probably sounds really silly, but in the 30 East Drive ghost hunt we did, I was doing an Estes method with Bailey, and he was doing it, and I was asking questions, and one of the answers was aurum, and I was like, what the fuck is that? So I googled aurum, AURUM, and aurum is the chemical name, or the whatever name for gold.
Oh, right.
Because gold on the thingy is AU. And and I was just like, whoa, okay, this shit. That's it. This shit is concrete real. That's the most solid evidence I'd ever need.
There you go.
Yeah.
I can imagine if ghosts come at you with gold rings on.
Mate. Fucking
it's just no respect. No respect.
That's it.
Anyway, right. The Bermuda Triangle. Now, this is one of probably the world's most famous kind of phenomenon or phenomena. I don't know which way around you say it.
Phenomenon.
It's always been touted ever since I was a kid. Bermuda Triangle was always the one that like gets talked about as to like where things go missing, planes fall out of the sky, ships sink, weird stuff happens. So yeah, I thought
nobody knows why.
That's it. And I thought we'd do an episode just, going through a few of the stories, maybe a couple of the theories, your thoughts. Obviously, you've done a video on it, Jordan, so you'll know a bit about it. I'm sure. If you can remember, how far long ago did you do the video?
I did that in one of the many videos that I did to cover my holiday in 2021. Yeah, November. Yeah, so it was a manic time.
Wow, what, the Maldives holiday?
Yeah. It was. I had to do 2 weeks videos, 4 weeks videos in 2 weeks, and that was one of them.
Nice. Well, we'll see how your knowledge is.
Yeah.
Right. For anyone who doesn't know what the Bermuda Triangle is, it's basically an area of water that is between the tip of like the very bottom edge of Florida, then to Puerto Rico and up to Bermuda, and that creates the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle has been synonymous with strange happenings and mysterious disappearances since the discovery of the Americas, also known as, I didn't know this, the Devil's Triangle. Sounds good. The stretch of ocean between Miami, Bermuda, and Costa Rica is a unique part of the Atlantic Ocean in that it has been the site of more than 50 mysterious disappearances over the last century. Not marked on any commercial maps, the infamous area of mystery is speculated to sit somewhere between 500,000 and 1.5 million square miles of open water. That's a lot of water.
That is a fuck ton of water.
Yeah. And that's a big area, 500,000 to 1.5 million square miles.
Yeah.
It's a big
because it stretches from Bermuda to like basically just outside the Bahamas and Miami.
Yeah.
All the way over to San Juan.
San Juan.
But like the fact it's so close to America, maybe that's why it's been so sensationalized. I don't know.
Maybe I mean, this is a very rough kind of illustration of a map, but if I bring up this article that I'm reading from, it does show you there. how close it is to America. Obviously, just touching the very tip, bottom edge of Miami, Florida, there.
Yeah.
Across to Puerto Rico and up to Bermuda.
That is quite a big area, isn't it? As well, it's like 3 times the size of the UK. Is it?
Jesus.
So it's a bit. It's a vast amount of area for stuff to go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the reference to that map, I don't know what the size of the UK compared to Italy is, but this boot here, that's Italy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Top right corner. That looks like it would easily fit in there. And I don't know.
A couple of Italy's in there for sure.
So it's a big space, you know. Yeah. Obviously, the bigger the space, the more things that are going to happen in it. But yeah. Myths and legends of the area aren't just limited to recent history. Rumors of Christopher Columbus experiencing difficulty with compass navigation and ghost lights date back to 15th century. What remains unanswered, however, is what is causing so many disappearances. Some have blamed fierce weather conditions or freak natural disasters, while others have turned to the supernatural to provide answers. Whatever the reason, there are still countless disappearances that leave experts and internet sleuths scratching their heads and asking what really happens in the Bermuda Triangle. Here are 5 of the eeriest and most frustrating disappearances that remain unsolved today. So I thought we'd just read out some of the disappearances.
Yeah, I just feel like in today's day and age, why can't we just fly through it with like a live feed?
Yeah, and just see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to, or fly a drone through it.
Yeah, I think there's lots of ships and stuff that do go through it, isn't there? Still,
yeah.
It's
interesting though.
Yeah, I think
it is that happen.
I don't know if I might read it out later on, but when I was reading through a couple of articles last night, I think one of the major insurers of ships that would obviously go through this area don't consider that to be like a hot spot for any sort of reason of like accidents or anything. So
that's interesting.
I don't see any reason why they shouldn't allow ships to go into that area.
Yeah.
And if they're an insurance company, the one thing you're going to be absolutely sure about is they're going to lose costs. So if there's any, it's like the old act of God shit.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous, isn't it? What is a question for you before we continue? Right, so it's near the Bahamas. Yeah, if you were offered business class free for your whole family to the Bahamas, but you have to fly through the Bermuda Triangle, would you take it?
Oh yeah, as long as we've got parachutes.
Parachutes don't help UFOs, mate.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I'd probably take it for myself. I wouldn't. I just
see, but that's really interesting though, isn't it? Because it's like you can kind of say like, "Oh, this is probably bollocks," but then when push comes to shove, like, well, actually, I'd rather err on the side of caution.
Yeah, it has to be more of a carrot as well. Just flying business class wouldn't.
Free holiday.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I was going to say, I hope it ain't just a flight past fucking the Bahamas.
No, Bahamas holiday, like 5-star
cool.
works. Yeah.
And I would take it, but if it's just a flight, I can just see the Bahamas but never go there. And possibly,
that'd be worse, wouldn't it?
Fly by.
Yeah. That's a very small
first class. The lot. Private jet, the lot.
So, I'll take it. I think.
I see. I genuinely don't know. I don't think it would.
I think private jet would be more scary, more sus. I feel like a big aeroplane. I don't think the Bermuda gods are going to take it down. There's too much heat on it. So I think a little jet. Oh yeah, it'll have that all day, won't it?
Yeah. I'd if I was to do it, I'd probably film it. I'd be like, I flew through the Bermuda Triangle
on a private jet. If there are any billionaires out there,
they want to fly us through the Bermuda Triangle, we'll do it.
Yeah,
there you go. And that's an APMA pledge. We'll do it. You know, pay for it all.
NuHemp. If you want to sponsor the next video, charter a private jet to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
All expenses paid holiday. Then we're all in.
We'll write NuHemp on the side of it.
The NuHemp jet.
Yeah, there you go.
And then when the jet breaks up for whatever reason, because we go through the Bermuda Triangle, and it just the new part just rips apart. And it's just left hemp there. It's like, the brand has gone. Trip's ruined.
That's funny. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what I'd do. If I was on a plane and then the pilot was like, and in today's flight, we're going to be flying at 30,000 feet and we'll be going through the Bermuda Triangle, I would be livid, I think.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. This is the opposite way we're meant to be going.
I'm going to Norway. Why are we going through the Bermuda Triangle? What the fuck?
You've picked the executive package, which gives you a great view of Bahamas. You don't go there. You just go past it and possibly die. But it's a great experience. One-way trip.
That's it.
Yeah, it's short as well when they do, because there are some aircraft that fly over that route, aren't there? Surely, but they'd have to.
It must be. Yeah.
To get in, because otherwise, unless it's like an air traffic route. But as they're flying in, I bet they're like, you can see Bermuda. I bet no one's saying Bermuda.
No one mentions any fucking shapes for about an hour.
Because say you flew from Africa to, I don't know, Puerto Rico, like Bermuda, that you're going to have to go through it unless you go round, which would, like, I just can't imagine aeroplane companies flying extra miles.
No, they'd cut as many costs as they get.
They want to cut costs, don't they? They'll be going straight through, especially if insurance companies are like allowing ships and that to go through.
Yeah, I've just Googled.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. Do pilots actually avoid it? Considering the superstition surrounding the Bermuda Triangle, many people assume that airline pilots would actively avoid this area of the ocean. Of course, anyone who has flown from Miami to San Juan, Puerto Rico, probably know that is not true. In fact, if it were, pretty much everyone's Caribbean vacation would be ruined.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. So it's
many flights crisscrossing it.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's like it's got this big phenomenon around it, but there's actually a lot of flights that do go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if the insurance companies didn't allow flights to go through there, you'd be like, okay, that maybe there's a bit to this, but also the fact that they do allow flights to go through there might be an insurance con, because then the companies who have the planes might just go, right, we're just going to dump this plane in the Bermuda Triangle and then claim, obviously. That's it. We're on the take. I've figured it out. I'm there. But yeah, but Bermuda Triangle is a weird place.
That's interesting that they don't plan around it.
It does look like it. I mean, it's such a big area that you'd also, if you like went around it, it'd probably add so much time to the flight.
Yeah.
And cost in fuel, etc.
Yeah.
There
you go. Right, let's have a look. So we got a few stories about the Bermuda Triangle to read out, and we can obviously we'll go on many tangents. I'm sure that's what we do on this podcast. If you've been listening to us for any length of time, you understand the format, you get it. Mm-hmm. We're going to go on tangents. That's what we do. Don't come at us.
Don't come at us because you'll send us on a tangent.
Yeah. So, the first one is Ellen Austin. I believe that was the name of a ship. So, in 1881, the Ellen Austin set off from Liverpool, destined for New York, carrying passengers emigrating to America. The ship had been at sea for several weeks when the captain took an unplanned shortcut through the Sargasso Sea. It's that old chestnut, isn't it? Let's take a shortcut. I know a shortcut. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Right. Known for its stormy nature, this route led the Ellen Austin through the Bermuda Triangle. Shortly into the detour, the captain sighted another vessel sailing erratically in the distance. The ship appeared abandoned and was moving unpredictably. Convinced that it was some form of trap, Captain Griffin of the Ellen Austin kept a safe distance for 2 days before ordering a crew to go aboard and investigate why the ship wasn't responding to their hails. The unmanned I don't know how to pronounce that. Schooner? Or
schooner.
schooner. Schooner was found to be abandoned with an intact cargo. There was no sign of violence and no indication that there had been any reasonable excuse to abandon the ship. Captain Griffin ordered that a small selection of his crew captain the ship, and that they sail together to New York, where it would be salvaged. Shortly after resuming their journey, a heavy storm separated the two ships. When the storm passed and Captain Griffin once again sighted the mysterious ship, he pulled up alongside and found that once again it was abandoned with no sign of bloodshed or reasonable damage. Whether too scared to lose yet more crew or pressed for time and resources, Captain Griffin opted to leave the ship adrift and continue to New York. The ship and its makeshift crew were never sighted again.
That's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ghost ship.
That's where you imagine just being that captain, just like, okay, I've made a grave error. This shortcut has turned into a nightmare. I've also lost some of the crew. That's going to be a thing I'm going to
explain that one.
So I'm just going to leave. I hope them people are still alive. In the back of my mind, I'll probably repress the fact that they're dead, but we'll go on.
Why did you put the crew on the other boat? Why did you want to salvage the boat?
I guess I might have got like, oh, you've picked up another boat. You're going to be promoted to. I don't know.
Or could he sell it? I don't know.
His team up and I don't know. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that.
I mean, to be fair, if it's a free boat, isn't it?
Yeah, but everyone died on it, and you don't know why. So it's probably just
it's a free boat. I mean, that is right. I mean, if I saw a boat there, no signs of damage, no sign of like any gunfire or any conflict, I'd be like, that's a free boat.
Yeah,
that could be in my. Well, I ain't got a marina, but that could be part of a marina somewhere.
Yeah,
I'll be wary of that free boat.
Yeah, it's too big of a carrot. It's too big of a carrot. That isn't it? A free boat.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want the regular size carrot. Well,
free boat's a free boat.
It's true. At the other end, it's free. You don't have to pay anything for it.
Maybe they should have just towed it.
Yeah.
That true. Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that with large boats made, but
I'm sure you
back in the day with no engine, you probably couldn't.
True. Yeah, I didn't even think about that really.
Sails.
It's weird though. So the storm separated them.
Mm.
And then when they saw it again, pulled up, everyone was gone.
Yeah, I mean, weird. It's classic Vikings in it. Don't separate your crew or your ships because you're not all going to make it.
It's not going well.
No. You don't want to divide and conquer. You just want to stay on one ship and continue on one ship. Ignore the three ships. In life.
Greed, isn't it? Greed got the better of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I bet the people who actually were sent from the safe ship onto the ship that looked for free, I bet they were like, I don't really fancy like doing this.
I didn't pay for this. I paid to go over to America. What the fuck?
Yeah. None of them wanted to go over.
Yeah. Unless, I don't know, maybe they just hid and thought, shall we just act like we're dead or like we're not there? And then we get the ship for free ourselves.
Yeah, sail it back the other way. When was it? Up to date on this?
1881, I think it said.
Back in the day.
Yeah, in 1881. So, strange goings on.
Yeah, for sure. The Cyclops.
That's it. Next one is the USS Cyclops. On March 4th, I says 4th of March. On 4th March 1918, Collier USS Cyclops set sail destined for Baltimore, Maryland. With no scheduled stops along her route, she was due to arrive in port with a full load of manganese ore on 13th of March. However, the ship never arrived at her intended destination. The last transmission received from the ship reported that weather fair, all well, and the lack of any wreckage or SOS message has led many to speculate what might have caused the ship and her crew to vanish somewhere in the 9-day window. To this day, the disappearance of the USS Cyclops and her crew of 305 remains the largest recorded loss of life in US naval history.
Jesus.
305.
I'm not being funny, though. Whether fair or well, weather can change in 9 days.
True. That is true.
9 days is a big window.
That seems weird as well. And that's the largest loss of life in US. What about the war? When boats got taken out in the war,
I mean, surely Pearl Harbor was more than 305.
I don't know. Maybe it means the single loss. Maybe it's like, I don't know.
Single loss on a boat, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, for everyone to completely disappear, that is a bit.
You would have thought that at least one of the 305 crew would have left, something, whether it be their remains.
Yeah, I suppose it is 1918, though. You're not going to have a very good search and rescue team. You're just going to have other boats.
And that shit's deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's deep out there in the ocean.
It is deep. And, there's stuff in the water sometimes that you don't really want to contend with,
Yeah.
If that part of the water, obviously, as you come into land, it's a lot shallower, but there must be parts within that part that are really deep that they haven't surveyed, or obviously they surveyed the Titanic at a certain depth.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you've got that patch of water, unless it's too big, you think that if they did survey, they'd find a lot down there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I guess it's like, where could it be in a 9-day span?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if, I know we'd die, but imagine if, just the oceans just disappeared, and then you could just walk and just see what's down there.
You just
There'd be a lot of shipwrecks, wouldn't there?
Well, there's a thing is that there's so much gold and stuff down there that there's enough to make us all millionaires if you could get it all out and have all that. Obviously, it would devalue the cost if everyone had it, but in theory, if you could have all those coins and all the stuff imagine how many shipwrecks and coins and how much treasure and value is down there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That free boat's looking good right now.
And you'd find Atlantis.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Like I say, over the years, think of the lost land.
There'd be civilizations down there, wouldn't there?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Fucking mad.
Probably loads of extinct dinosaurs that we haven't discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I love the idea of just being out. I know, obviously, like you said, we'd die if the ocean did just disappear, but for that brief, few minutes or whatever we had left, I could just look at the cities that have been lost to the water and just be like, okay, well, there was people down there at one point.
I think at one point, I remember watching a universe documentary. Obviously, the sun as a star on its life towards the end of its life, it expands.
Yeah.
And obviously, that's going to heat the Earth up, and it's going to evaporate all the water. So whether there'll be anyone here, and anyone be able to survive that heat.
Just get down there quick.
There will be a point in time where all the water's gone off Earth, which is interesting. That will happen one day.
Crazy.
When it happens, hopefully they have a window just to get down there and just have a quick look.
Just loads of little AI bloody drones just collecting all the gold and shipping it off to some other little land.
Yeah. It's going to Elon Musk somewhere.
Yeah, his brain is in a tank of water or something.
Yeah.
I know that'd be evaporated. But it'd be somewhere, wouldn't he? I don't think
robots will be down there collecting all the stuff for sure.
Yeah.
A big AI robot grab.
Yeah. The chat GPTs are in the robots. Let's go.
Yeah. Did you? So just while we're sort of on the subject, did you? Because we did cover it the other week with the AI art and stuff. Did you see?
Oh yeah.
Those guys asked the AI to draw the life cycle of the human race.
No.
And it started as apes and that, and then amoebas, and then come out of the sea, and then apes, and into us, and then slowly we became like cybernetic, and then became like basically machines, and then became like got like absorbed into the wall of all the wiring and shit, and then we just basically became wires.
Nice.
Yeah.
But we are essentially just electric pulses, aren't we, of energy?
Yeah. And if we do start, adding some cybernetic add-ons here and there to make ourselves better, which I think is just it's just the next extension, really. I know we've got like the neuro chip and stuff, but like it's I think our phones is, I mean, you look at your phone, right? So your phone is literally an extension there in your hand. I don't think it's going to be long until it's going to be like, I don't know, maybe in your wrist or something, or it's going to become part of us, and then we just go from there. And it's interesting. But he asked the AI to draw the human cycle of humanity, and it just went all the way through until we became just like wires in a wall. Like it's really weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. Creepy.
Yeah. I've always thought it'd be sick, to get like some sort of exoskeleton.
Yeah.
Don't know why. I just love the thought of being able to just jump like 50 feet in the air onto like a ledge or something. That's all I'll probably use it for.
Like ghost in a shell type shit.
Yeah.
I think all that's definitely coming. The research in like stem cells and people having like stem cell regeneration, that's massive at the moment, isn't it? And it's like we're healing things that couldn't be healed in the past, and it's like it won't be long before, like you say, we can fix all of the body.
Yeah, I remember the other day I saw some like it was some really old dude who was being interviewed on whether it's right morally to grow what was it? I think it was beef in growing meat, like artificial meat in a test tube, basically. And he was kicking off about it, and I was like, wait until you find out like the advances they're making in like the medical.
Exactly, mate. Yes.
Are you going to say it's unnatural? What, you've missed a limb, so I'll just accept the fact I just can't use my leg anymore. Instead of getting like a prosthetic leg or a cybernetic leg in the future, it's like, no, that's unnatural. Okay, that's disgusting. So come on, man, just behave.
Yeah.
Just behave.
I do think I get it. It's the moral issue and all the rest of it. But I do think it's actually insane that we haven't reached a point where we can just grow organs for transplants and stuff. I just, especially like, and that's because kind of stem cell research certainly in the West has been stunted because stem cells can literally grow into any human cell that you need. That's literally when we start, we are stem cells, and those stem cells become every different cell. I think it just needs exposure to the cells required or something like that. But yeah, so it's just like the fact that they outlawed it. I get it. I do get it. But at the same time, if you take away the moral issue, there's a lot of progress to be made. But then again, you can say that for a lot of things. So,
yeah.
The thing is, the advancements in medical technology, even if you slow down the pace, I think Elon Musk said it before, like even in 1,000 years, it's going to be so advanced anyway. So it's like you can't stop the process. It's just even if you slow it down, it's still coming. Like all of this stuff will come. It's the same with AI, isn't it? It's all going to come. It's just when. But you can't change it. It was just human nature will just always want to keep getting better and improve.
Yeah. Because if you don't, what the fuck do you do?
Exactly. Right.
If you don't try and improve what's already there, you don't do anything. You just
I feel like it's hardwired into every human's DNA to progress at something.
Yeah.
It's like that's one. It keeps you alive, and I don't know. It's just common in every single place in the world that every human wants to try and advance. It's just it's very, very interesting.
Yeah. well, it just makes sense to me. Like if you see, especially in science, medical sectors, like you always want to try and do better. If it might not be possible at some point to get anything better, but you still try and research stuff, test stuff, come up with new ideas, refine already implemented ideas. It's just what we do, or what the scientists and medical professionals do. But we all, like you said, to a certain extent, have that in us. So yeah, I just feel if you don't do that, we're not going to be doing anything. We'll just be wasted, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, what's this next story? Oh, the Witchcraft. The Witchcraft was a 23-foot luxury cruiser that disappeared on the evening of 22nd of December 1967. The boat's owner had invited his close friend out onto the ocean to look at the Christmas lights over the waters of Miami. The plan was to go a short distance out to sea, switch the engine off, and enjoy the scenery. At 9 p.m. that night, Miami Coast Guards received a distress call that calmly informed them that the boat had hit something in the water and would require a tow from less than a mile offshore. The owner indicated that this wasn't an emergency and that they would fire a flare and let the Coast Guards know of the boat's exact location. Less than 20 minutes later, the Coast Guards reached the point where they believed the call had been made, but there was no sign of the Witchcraft or the flares. Neither the Witchcraft nor her 2 passengers were seen again.
Okay, that one's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because in 20 minutes, you'd think that it would still be in view somewhere. Even if it's off in the distance, it would still be visible.
Yeah.
23-foot luxury cruiser. How big is that? That's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that disappearing off the face of the earth in 20 minutes when it's only less than a mile off. I mean, fucking hell, you probably see it from the coastline.
Yeah.
So that one is that's a bit weird. Hit something. I mean, obviously it could have maybe been a bit more serious than they thought. Can a ship sink in 20 minutes? Probably.
Yeah, and also they would have had loads of flares on it, which to not send up.
And there's never a flare.
It's just over 7 meters.
That's pretty substantial.
Yeah. And obviously, I don't know how cool it would
be.
The
name of the boat.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of doomed themselves a little bit.
In that boat.
Yeah, it's like calling yourself Titanic too. It's not going to go well, mate. It's not going to go well. Yeah, it's going to get us a bit of decent press, isn't it? Yeah, it's also going to kill you, son.
Imagine it.
Yeah. It's Titanic, the second.
People would go on it though for banter, wouldn't they?
100%. Yeah, if you sell even did the same journey.
Yeah.
I reckon people would buy tickets. You could get certain actors that played certain characters from the film.
Yeah, you'd fill up.
I still can't believe. I think that's what you said, Lozzie, the other week. I still cannot believe that if the Titanic just went head first into the iceberg, they would have probably been fine. But because they tried to turn and it hit the side, that's what caused it to go tits up. That's fucking mad. Imagine if they were just like, fuck it, just hit it. You're going to hit it anyway. Just hit it head on.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, because then you it's like more of a piercing, isn't it? Rather than being a hit in the side.
Oh, imagine, if you ever pranged your car, crashed your car.
I've been hit by someone,
Yeah, like that feeling when you just gut goes, don't it? Like, it's horrible. But imagine when he's turning the Titanic boat and he's like, we're gonna miss, and then that crunch, and he's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
We're all dead.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, I know it's the captain's thing and it's what they sign up for, but especially the captain is like, oh, fuck. I've got to stay on this thing. Otherwise, I go to prison.
You got you've made the call. You haven't hit it. You just got to down with no matter what, you're going down with that shit.
Yeah. But played rugby in front of the captain of the Titanic, so, well, from the movie anyway.
I was going to say, how did that happen?
Yeah. Yeah, he came back to life in 2010 to watch me play rugby. I scored.
Oh, nice.
I scored a try, but I can't. Did we win? I think we might have done.
Jesus.
St. Felix, it was a private school, obviously, because it was
yeah,
the Titanic's captain or King of Rohan from Lord of the Rings' son. Yeah, I think we might have won.
Oh, okay,
actually.
yeah, it's a very movie there.
Yeah. Now he was the actor from the movie.
Yeah, fair play. That's
But yeah, I was trippy as fucking balls, just bombing it down the wing, and then just in the peripheral. I was like, hang on a fucking minute, what the?
Was
fuck?
he dressed as the captain from the Titanic?
Nah, but he was in like a jacket and that, so he weren't far. He was just missing the hat.
Obviously, did everyone just see him and recognise him instantly?
I don't know if everyone did. I did, but I recognised him as the King of Rohan from Lord of the Rings. I was like, it's the King of fucking Rohan. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, he was. His son was playing hooker.
Oh,
and he was a mouthy little shit. And there was a scrum, and our captain / hooker Farron, this kid who was the guy's son, was just fucking mouthing off. And Farron, as he went into the scrum, he just went bang like that and just hit this guy. I was playing open side flanker, so I was off to the side of the scrum. I just heard, considering he had a mouth guard in, which is rubber, I just heard the teeth just smack together, and I was like, oh, he didn't really speak much after that. But it was, probably shattered the King of Rohan's son's jaw. But yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool, and that's how I scored a try. So that's even better.
Like when the Titanic met the iceberg, huh?
Exactly.
Right in.
Exactly. But yeah, man.
I feel if you're playing rugby, like the worst. I feel like, my limited experience of playing rugby, because I also played hooker. I hated every minute of it. I hated playing the hooker because I felt like I had no control over what's going on in the scrum.
And if it collapses, it's normally your neck that goes.
Yeah. Literally the pressure point is me. That's what it felt like. But yeah, they always seem to be this. If there was going to be anyone, it was going to be the hooker that was mouthy or wanted to give you some shit. But there's loads of stuff like that happening. The rucks and the scrums, to be honest.
It's normally the hooker and the scrum half, because the scrum half's normally the smallest person on the pitch.
Yeah.
And just got a mouth on him. I know ours did. Declan. Fucking hell.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but no, I fucking love playing rugby. But anyway, talk about fucking tangents. Jesus Christ. Oh, I just see Bilbo put in the chat, I was scrum half. I'm not calling you small, mate. I'm just saying that's normally the position.
He's a fucking prepper, mate. He'll outlast you.
That's it. That's very true.
But anyway, well, now we all know that you obviously played rugby in front of the.
I think I've mentioned it on the podcast about 4 or 5 times.
That's it. Well, if you knew, now you know.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And it is relevant.
Bilbo said I'm small and mouthy. There we go. See, perfect scrum half.
That's it. You're built for that position. You're literally tailor made.
Yeah.
Right, this is the next one. It's called Flight 19 PBM Mariner. I'll probably just stick to Flight 19. That PBM Mariner thing, it's not catchy enough,
No, Flight 19 is definitely more catchy.
Yeah. Perhaps the most notorious of disappearances in the Triangle, the fate of Flight 19 and PBM Mariner has left even the greatest minds reaching for answers, rather. When Flight 19, a group of 5 Avenger torpedo bombers, took off from Fort Lauderdale on the 5th of December 1945, they had expected their 3-hour bombing journey to be just as uneventful as the runs they had done countless times before. Shortly after dropping their payload of replica bombs, what the fuck is that? The patrol began to run into trouble. Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor, an experienced pilot, believed that his compass had started to malfunction and that Flight 19 had been flying in the wrong direction. Concerned, Taylor contacted another Navy flight instructor who was flying close to the Florida coast. With the weather getting increasingly worse, Taylor went against protocol of pointing a lost plane towards the setting sun. Believing that they were somewhere over Florida Keys, Taylor adjusting the heading in an attempt to navigate to the Gulf of Mexico. Sensing Taylor's mistake, some of his men challenged his decision to continue northeast and convinced him to turn tail and head back westward. For reasons unknown, however, he once again turned the flight back around, still concerned that they were somewhere over the Gulf. As the flight flew further away from the land, their transmissions became fainter and fainter. Having flown for more than their allotted time, the crew were starting to get concerned that they wouldn't be able to correct their navigation before they run out of fuel. In his final transmission, Taylor told his men that once the first plane dropped below 10 litres of fuel, they would all ditch together for the greater chance of rescue. A few short minutes later, the transmissions ended. Certain that the flight had ditched into the ocean, the Navy immediately launched a search and rescue effort. 2 Mariner flying boats were scrambled to search for the missing Flight 19. However, 20 minutes after taking off, one of the Mariners disappeared off the radar. Neither the 13 crewmen, 5 pilots of Flight 19, nor the wreckages of any of the aircraft were ever recovered.
Jesus.
That's fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You do hear about with the Bermuda Triangle, which this is one of the things that I think could potentially be out there, although the fact that there's loads of fucking flights over kind of goes against this. But because they say about like the navigation shit all going wrong. And there could be like some magnetic reason, some magnetic polarity out there or something, like with the, I don't know how it all works, but there could be something like that fucks with the navigation, which then sends, obviously, if a plane is just fucking going out into the middle of the sea rather than back to land and they've only got limited fuel, then it would make sense. But then a boat went missing as well.
Yeah.
Weird.
It could be as well when they do go down the tides. We don't know wreckages are found. Maybe something to do like strong tides that pull it under and just like destroy it, or
yeah.
You
know it's gone wrong. You know it's gone wrong when the very people you send to try and find the people that have gone missing, also go missing themselves. You're like, okay,
yeah,
what do we do now?
I think it would be interesting to put some drones out there, fly them around, let them drop in with sensors and try and track where the tides take them or where they go once they fall.
Yeah, because it's just fucking, it is weird. It is incredibly weird.
Yeah, it's weird that, they said he was, I don't know how experienced this Taylor, this Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor was, but it said he was experienced. So it also says that he went against protocol of pointing a lost plane towards the setting sun. So if you're taught that that's like not something you should probably do, I know he's probably in a bit of a desperate situation, but it's interesting that he just straight away ignored that and decided to do it because he thought that would help in some way. Get his bearing, I guess, and figure out where they are. But yeah, it's weird. That's just one of them ones where you're like, okay, this is concerning.
Why wouldn't that be a thing to do, though? Because the sun rises on the east and sets on the west, doesn't it? And if he was looking for the western Gulf of Mexico, then it would make sense to point your plane at the sun because the sun would be in the west.
Yeah, I don't really know. I guess so. It sounds, what you're saying, it sounds right. I'm sure there'll be someone who's like, well, it actually is it's this that doesn't make sense, and if you do that, you're wrong. But it sounds like it's right.
Yeah,
it makes sense to me. I'm not a pilot, so I could be completely wrong. I mean, give me a free plane, and I'll give it a go.
That's it. Yeah, it's just it's very strange. But then it doesn't explain so many things. Because, like, okay, the plane's flying in the wrong direction. So then they go down to 10 litres of fuel. So they all dump. Okay, get that. That's kind of one thing that's going wrong. How the fuck does a boat go missing, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and also, you could understand one plane going down and no wreckage, but 5 planes going down and no wreckage anywhere. Like that's
nothing washed up.
A big space for them to go down, and that surely some of the wreckage could be.
What did it say? Because it said what the planes were. I think it said they were bombers, were they not?
Yeah, bombers. Yeah,
so they would have been fairly decent sized planes as well, not like just like infantry planes. Like they were decent sized planes to be bombers.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like it does get you thinking, on it. Like 5 of them, and the rescue boats all just go missing. Like because it's different circumstances. The boat going missing is totally different to the planes.
Yeah, and also like, I mean, they would add tabs on the planes, but surely if you're sending out fucking boats, you would also keep tabs on where the boats are, because if they find them, then they may need even more assistance.
Yeah, especially a rescue boat. You think that would be fully laden with the most up to date, like technology and protocols.
Yeah, so
that's strange.
Immediately on search and rescue, 2 mariner flying boats were scrambled. However, 20 minutes after taking off, one of them disappeared. That's another thing, right? Unless, well, maybe they'd split up to try and find them, but how the fuck do you lose one? It's just
20
weird.
minutes.
It's in 20 minutes. Like,
I think what's so crazy about these stories is the one that's not obviously the event, but it's the complete disappearance of everything.
Yeah. Not just the person.
Yeah.
And no trace. Like
no trace. Like not even like, you know, like that's 1945, but like we're like almost 80 years after, and like no trace. Like nothing's come up, nothing's been what, like where
it's like I don't know if it was the Bermuda Triangle. What was that plane that went missing a few years ago, that commercial one?
The Air Asia flights.
Has anything of that ever been found?
On one of them, because I think there was 2, wasn't there? But it isn't one of them that didn't locate the black box.
I think there's been a few of them that have gone down. I think one. I'm almost sure that one of them got shot down by
Malaysian Airlines.
Supposed Russian forces. In 2014, and then there was a couple of other ones that.
Yeah, Air Asia. I used to fly Air Asia all the time. It's so cheap.
Really?
Well, I guess are they still about? They must be. No? Oh, I was going to say they'll be cheap now.
That would fucking hit. That would hit customer fucking trust, wouldn't it? Just a little bit.
I think after that, it's just like they might have obviously they probably just rebranded, sold all the planes off, but those flights.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't think they're Bermuda Triangle. They're more that they're in Asia, aren't they? But they're
terrible.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like crazy. Even I mean, that happened like what 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
That's crazy. I mean, this was happening in 1945. This the Flight 19 going missing, and that the Malaysian Airlines flight went missing in like 5-10 years ago, and we still don't know definitively 100% what's gone on, what's happened.
Yeah. With all the technology we've got now, like
it's crazy.
It doesn't make sense at all.
It probably goes to show how vast like the open water is, compared to obviously land. But it's mental.
Like you can make a black box that like activates some sort of floating mechanism.
Yeah.
Well, you would have thought so. They would have. I mean, to be honest, like I don't know how many aircraft are in the world, but that sort of aircraft, you would have thought it would be able to, at least the companies would be able to develop something that even like any crash that would ever happen to that aircraft that it would be able to withstand. And even submerged in the water, you would have thought they'd be able to solve that.
And like I say, there's surely we've got technology within a black box that's, because that gives you all the information. So just to find that and keep that alive, because it's like then you can kind of diagnose what the problem is and hopefully sort it going forward. But to not find that is like, yeah,
fishy,
crazy. Yeah, maybe you just need to go fishing and you'll find it.
That's it.
In the deep. So the last story I've got about the Bermuda Triangle is the Great Isaac Lighthouse. Now, this is obviously strange because it's a lighthouse, but there we go. Unlike other disappearances, the Great Isaac Lighthouse mystery is unique in that both lighthouse keepers were stationed on land when they vanished. A barren island, Great Isaac Rock, already had a grim history. Local lore told of a ship that wrecked with no survivors except for a single infant. First put into service in the mid-1800s, the lighthouse housed the island's only 2 inhabitants, its keepers. On the 4th of August, 1969, a small boat was launched to check on the lighthouse. Routine calls had gone unanswered. Upon arrival, the investigators discovered that the island was empty and there was no sign of its 2 guardians. A hurricane had passed over the island shortly before, but the lack of damage to the living quarters raised the question as to why 2 experienced lighthouse keepers wouldn't have stayed put where they were safest. Others believe the pair were caught in a drug smuggling ring, or perhaps they were both kidnapped, but no evidence of foul play to suggest anything untoward. The fate of both keepers remains a mystery. This is not the only time the isolated lighthouse keepers have disappeared in the strangest circumstances. After 3 men vanished from the Flannan Isles, a small group off the northwestern coast of Scotland in 1900.
There's a film about that, I think.
Yeah, a lot of lighthouse keepers have gone mad, haven't they? I think in the early days, when was this? 1969. So maybe not this one then. But like I know in like the 18th and 19th century, there was mercury involved, and they'd get mercury poison and just go insane. But obviously now, well, I mean, it's 18th, 19th century when that kind of stuff happened. So
yeah, no, I guess they're all just unmanned now, aren't they? You don't need anyone there.
Yeah. It's very isolating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being. I mean, if you like your own company, then great. But if it must do weird things to you socially and like mentally.
Yeah.
Eerie places, isn't there, as well? Like, have you ever been in one?
No,
I haven't actually.
I went up one down in Camber Sands. It's one of the biggest ones, I think, in the UK. But they are strange. They are like, I could see if just the round and the spiraling staircase, and I could see why it would drive you mental.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's not much space to live in there.
No. Yeah, very confined.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely not for me. Plus all the sirens and mermaids out there. Oof.
So,
Kraken, they'll get you.
It makes sense for like I say, if you are going to be into drug smuggling, that could be a good.
Yeah.
It'd be a good spot.
Swing by the lighthouse, I'll load you up.
By the lighthouse, drop them off. Like it's a good little. It feels like it's good. It's a great place for drug smugglers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like drop it off, stash it somewhere for a while, go back.
Yeah.
A couple of months later.
Maybe that's why they tend to go a bit,
mad.
Maybe they start to, use their own supply.
Yeah. Just get on the heroin.
Yeah, dropping tabs.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you've gone on, you're literally like on an island. You have no clue what's going on in the world, especially back then. And maybe radio, you get some radio out there, but
yeah.
It's very interesting. I might do a video on lighthouse keepers going mad.
Yeah, I think you should. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be quite an interesting one.
It is interesting. Lighthouse keepers, eh? Not many of them left.
No.
If at all. But yeah. So they're the stories.
Yep.
Interesting. Just have a look at these are both from the history, although it says Sky there, but the actual website is history.co.uk. I think this one is. Yeah. History.co.uk. The other one I've got to show you is from history.com. So, yeah. And it's just literally a sum up of what people feel about the Bermuda Triangle. So if I take this one away. Get that gone. We don't want that anymore. We're done with it. And then I'll put up this one here. Whack it on. So this just sums up really like what the evidence is. Well, not the evidence, but because there's not a lot. Shock. Otherwise, it would have been said in the stories. But yeah, it just tells you a little bit about what people think about if it's like the legitimacy of it, if there's something weird going on.
Yeah.
So Bermuda Triangle theories and counter theories. By the time author, I'll make this full screen. By the time author Vincent Gaddis coined the phrase Bermuda Triangle in a 1964 magazine article, additional mysterious accidents had occurred in the area, including 3 passenger planes that went down despite having just sent all well messages. Charles Berlitz, whose grandfather founded the Berlitz language schools, stoked the legend even further in 1974 with a sensational bestseller about the legend. Since then, scores of fellow paranormal writers have blamed the triangle's supposed lethalness on everything from aliens, Atlantis, and sea monsters to time warps and reverse gravity fields. Jesus. Whereas more scientifically minded theorists have pointed to magnetic anomalies, water spouts, or huge eruptions of methane gas from the ocean floor. In all probability, however, there is no single theory that solves the mystery. As one skeptic put it, trying to find a common cause for every Bermuda Triangle disappearance is no more logical than trying to find a common cause for every automobile accident in Arizona. Moreover, although storms, reefs, and Gulf Stream can cause navigational challenges there, maritime insurance leader Lloyd's of London does not recognise the Bermuda Triangle as an especially hazardous place. Neither does the US Coast Guard, which says in a review of many aircraft and vessel losses in the area over the years, there has been nothing discovered that would indicate that casualties were the result of anything other than physical causes. No extraordinary factors have been identified. So,
yeah, I mean, do you know, the thing for me is, I think right at the beginning of this podcast, when you said just how big the Bermuda Triangle is, it's like, okay, well, the likelihood then increases just shit going wrong by accident just increases tenfold, you know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, fucking hell, you know, you could just be like, you know, the European Triangle, because planes have gone down over Europe and gone missing and shit. It's like, you know, if you've got an area big enough,
the
weird stuff.
Yeah, and like I say, if insurance companies, they obviously do analytical research and plot it, so that triangle will be plotted against other spaces, like the same space, and it's also, insurance is also risk, isn't it? So if they say that mass causes this % of risk, that, you know, they wouldn't insure it if it was like, so I think it's the stories, the legendary stories of these things happening, that they're so big, you know, like that 5 planes and then the boat going missing, like that's such a big story, and like so weird that it just then heightens the whole
absolutely,
the whole thing.
Apparently, according to I'm just looking through the chat earlier on in the episode, Bobby says at APMA, do you think the Bermuda Triangle and the Alaskan Triangle are connected? Didn't even know anything about the Alaskan
I hadn't heard of that.
So I'll have to research it.
Yeah.
So everyone's got a triangle. Everyone's got a triangle. When's the rhombus coming out? What are we doing with that? Is there a rhombus area of water that isn't safe to go across?
The UK triangle.
That's it.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, it's the sea is just strange. Like,
yeah,
I don't know about you, but I'd much rather, saying this, I'd probably fucking die straight away. But I'd much rather be lost in space than the ocean, because the ocean's scary. But at least the space, I'm probably just going to see a few stars, maybe an old alien or two. But yeah, I think I'd be lost in space rather than lost in the ocean.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well,
There's just less stuff in space.
Yeah, less gold rings and that.
Yeah, exactly.
But see if the wreckage of a space station, just like, oh shit, there's a load of gold coming towards me.
Should we do some questions?
Let's do some questions. Put the old banner up as well, do you know what I mean? There you go. How's that make you feel? Have any, put it on screen, do you know what I mean? Have any of you suffered any mental health problems in your life, says Matt?
Well, that is a very different question. I wasn't expecting that.
That's a massive tangent.
Yeah, geez. Yes, yeah, most definitely. I feel like as I've got older, I have a better understanding of what things contribute, and so I, avoid those things. Yeah, if for example, I'm going through a bit of an anxious period, I'll avoid caffeine, for example, because caffeine will just spike it. Like there's, so yeah. But unfortunately, I have suffered from mental health problems. Fortunately, nothing like too severe. But like I say, what I have, I'm kind of trying to learn from.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much goes the same for me. To be honest, I've had certain mental health issues in the past. I've tried.
But right now, it's okay. Sorry,
good.
Just put that in there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. I'm okay now as well. Like, I think I'll get hit pretty hard in 2020. I think everyone did, to be honest. Affected a lot of people's mental health, the pandemic and that, and probably still does to a certain extent. But I'm in the better realm of thought now. I'm in a better place. So yeah, it's mental health is something that you need to pay attention to a lot more. I think a lot of people do need to pay more attention to it, especially your family and friends. I'm sure the more awareness you bring up about it, the better it will be, hopefully, in the long run. And obviously, there's loads of help you can get just talking to your mates. Hopefully, they're sympathetic, or even if you just get someone who can listen, there are charities that you can call on that if you need the support. But yeah, it's mental health's shit, man. When it goes wrong, it's just horrible. But yeah, you just got to try your best to keep moving forward, I guess. I ain't got it's no magic pill for it, unfortunately, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I think in life you go through ups and downs all the time. I think with age you can reflect a little bit easier. I remember pre-joining the army, I had a patch of a couple of months, and I was just like proper down. I wasn't getting out of bed, but I didn't have any purpose or drive or anything. And it's easy to get yourself in a mess. And I also think as well, like it's the label, giving yourself the label of. It's really tricky to touch on this subject, but if you give yourself the label, it's a tricky one, because then it's like you must
reside into that reality.
And it's like I think as humans we have up and downs all the time. And if you can recognize that there's a down period, and that from that there could be an up period, and again it's a massive scale, because there's people who suffer severe, and people who get a little bit, and people go up and down. So it's like it's hard to generalize it, because it's such a huge thing that we talk about it more. So it's I think take note of it and you know, appreciate the ups and you know, be aware of the downs and try and take note of it. If you are having some ups, well, that's good. You know, you can there's a way out. If you're down all the time for a long period of time consistently, then there's definitely obviously something wrong. And you know, there's no correct answer. Like for some people, having a goal, or drive, a purpose, doing something can pull them out of it. Other people it doesn't. So it's like I don't think there's any right answer for anyone. But just try and take stock of your own self. I mean, like I say, I've had a period of like 3-4 months. But at the time, this, you know, when I had this period, there was, one, you didn't really talk about it, but two, no one talked about mental health. It wasn't even a thing. It was just like, like I didn't really know what the problem was. And I kind of signed up. I joined the army, and then that gave me like purpose, a goal. Really helped me out, gave me like confidence and all that sort of stuff. So, that works for me at that time. I think I think as human, I think even when everything is good and everything's absolutely fine, you can still have moments of like just not being happy. But just I think it's really important not to be careful how you label it and just and realize that you can break out of it. Like people do all the time, they come out of it. And then they go back into it and come back out of it. So one, it's cyclical, and two, like you can if you have got it and you are suffering with it, know that there can be a way out.
Most definitely. That was probably taking up all of our question time.
Maybe like complete. That
was a curveball.
That was a separate podcast, that one.
But a good one, like I say,
that was a good question.
Very hot topic and stuff.
Should we do one more?
And such a hard one to answer because every single person is different and everyone's
exactly.
We'll do one more. This one's from the Framo. When's the next job episode coming out? Well, whenever I plan it, really. We could make it the next one, I suppose, if we make it here and now. Say if we can come up with some stories about jobs next week.
That's mainly on you, Dan.
I'd say I need to. I'm definitely up for it. I just need to probably rewatch the other one and see what jobs I've covered. What jobs I haven't. I don't think I've touched too much on like my uni jobs. I think I've had like 19 jobs at uni, because I remember counting them. So I could probably delve into a couple of those. Which is quite funny. I think I've covered my jobs in Australia. I mean, jobs I've got.
We'll go for that then.
Yeah, next
I'll
episode.
Finally tell the story of me being a drugs mule for a day.
That's what I wanted. That's what I want. I need that story. I'm gonna clip the fuck out of it.
That's it.
Oh, dear.
Sweet.
Right, well, thanks for your questions. Well, there's only two of them, but thanks for your questions. Also, thanks for NuHemp sponsoring the podcast. Get your 20% off with APMA 20 code at checkout. Again, not on bundled products. You can only use it on single products. But if you need
NuHemp, NuHemp.co.uk.
It's in the description. You can access the website through the description, and it's at the bottom on the scroller on the bar at the bottom there. If you're listening, you're not going to see that, but it's NuHemp.co.uk. Get your CBD products. Get your 20% off. Up the APMA.
Up the APMA.
See you later. Bye.